What's up, strongest men, women, and children from blocks all around the world? I am my block's strongest man, and this is the greatest time of the year for strength sports, World's Strongest Man 2021.
Ciao, homie.
So today we're going to be talking about the 2021 World's Strongest Man predictions, specifically the World's Strongest Man 2021 qualifiers predictions and what the World's Strongest Man 2021 groups are. We'll also talk about the World's Strongest Man 2021 events and how they play out for each of the groups. So tonight we're here to discuss predictions for World's Strongest Man 2021 Group 5. So who is in World's Strongest Man 2021 Group 5? Well, it's Gavin Bilton, Kevin Ferris, Alexei Novikov, Luke Stoltman, and Bobby Thompson. A lot of people, rightly so, because Novikov's in this group, are calling this the most challenging group in all of the World's Strongest Man 2021 groups. For me, Group 1 is the most challenging, but there's a fair point to be made here. So let's have a look at their prep weights and take into account their past performances to determine where we think each person will fare. So taking a look at the frame loading medley, Gavin Bilton did a 350 kilo frame for 28 steps. He was not so fast, slowish, I called it. Kevin Ferris did 356 kilos, it looked like. I kind of tried to calculate what I saw, and he did a 10-second hold at the end as well. I didn't see Novikov practicing either this or the loading. Luke Stoltman did a 300 kilo frame, and Bobby Thompson did a 282 for 50 feet. Bobby Thompson, I'll also say, is well noted for being extremely methodical with his training. He knows exactly what percentage of comp weight he's at on each day of training. And, you have less doubt with him that he'll be fully prepared for things, despite where you think he is or what you're seeing in prep. As far as the loading, we saw Gab Bilton doing 4 increasing weighted sandbags. The third one, or the heaviest one, was 100 kilo, and he had a medium pace with that loading. Then we saw Luke Stoltman doing a frame, a keg, and then 2 sandbags. Did that in just over a minute. And then Bobby Thompson was doing double ladder jumps to 30-foot carries with a 300 and a 350 sandbag. So he'd do his double ladder jumps and then run over, grab the sandbag, and run it to try to get his transition speed quicker. So it looked like he was doing well there. He was last place at loading at WUS Bahrain very recently. So you kind of got to balance that recent performance with this improvement he's trying to make and make a determination of where you think he'll be. In terms of deadlift, Bobby's all over this. Almost nobody beats Bobby Thompson at deadlift. So 456 kilo I saw him do for a 9-inch deadlift. That would equal 340 kilo for about 10 if that were his peak. Again, like, these prep weights are not necessarily their peaks. They're probably either not showing their best or peaking at contest time and not here, but we're comparing what we've seen to each other. Luke Stoltman, 320 kilos for 5. Alexei did a 390 for 1, so lower than the other guys. And then Kevin Ferris, 400 kilos for 1 at 9-inch. Gab Bilton did a 400 kilo for 1 axle, a 400 kilo for 1 on a normal bar, and a 360 for 3 on a normal bar. So that's the evidence we have for the deadlift, and this group is in fact getting the deadlift. We then move on to the Fingal's Fingers. So Fingal's Fingers for Gab Bilton was, we don't know what the weight was, and he did it for 4 reps. He looked like he was handling them pretty well. Kevin Ferris did Fingals. He was slow with them, but they seemed tall and heavy compared to some of the other fingers I've seen guys training with. Alexei Novikov, an unknown weight of fingers for 5 reps. He finishes it off with that technique where he has the one-arm clothesline, so he's kind of on his way already by the time he's finishing it over. So I think that'll save him some time and he'll be fast with this. And then Luke Stoltman did an unknown weight finger, but for 20 singles. So he wasn't fast. He was kind of on the slower side, but did lots of reps. Don't know how that'll translate over into World's Strongest Man, where you're expected to do heavy weights quickly. Then we move into the overhead medley, because these guys are getting the Fingal's Fingers. So on the overhead, we saw Kevin Ferris doing 110 pounds per hand for 9 reps. And then he did 100 kilo for 6 on the circus. Kevin Ferris did very well on circus dumbbell at the Shaw Classic as well. He got credit for 2 reps, but he really had 4 of them up. He just barely missed the lockout. Tom Stoltman has that issue sometimes. I don't think that'll happen to either guy at this contest. They'll be very cognizant of getting that particular lockout. So Kevin is very good in circus dumbbell. Alexi, the best in the world at circus dumbbell right now, was doing 110 for 1. So there you go. Like, there's your prep evidence, right? So based on this, it would look like Kevin Ferris is the better circus dumbbell presser. He's one of the best, but he's not Novikov level. But the prep would let you indicate that he is. So we have to be a little bit careful on how we judge these things and remember kind of past accomplishments. Bobby Thompson was doing 88 kilos for 1. Very easy. Again, he progresses at a predictable, predetermined rate that is comfortable for him. And he was 4th out of 15 at WUS Bahrain with dumbbell. So Bobby performed very well there with this particular exercise. However, again, that's only one of 3 parts of the medley. So we have to take them all into consideration. And as you see, Gav Bilton did axle work at 140 for 3. Novikov did 150. Luke Stoltman did 180 for 3, so much higher than the other 2 guys. And Bobby Thompson did 155 for 1. And in terms of the pickaxe, Luke looked really good with the pickaxe, although I've been hearing rumors recently that Tom, who was terrible at it the first time he tried, has surpassed Luke now. So very interesting there. It's hard to make a determination. Big Loz was telling me some people continue to train this and get worse. So who knows? And then in terms of stones, we saw Kevin Ferris practicing with sandbags over bar for 10 reps. I don't know what the weight was. Novikov with 120 kilo stone, but very high, up to 67 inches. And we know it can lift a lot more than 120 kilo stone on a more traditional height in the 50-inch range, in the 50s. Luke Stoltman was doing 160 kilos for a few singles, and Bobby Thompson, notoriously not a good event for him, was 12th out of 15 competitors recently at WUS Bahrain with stones, and nothing would indicate that he's going to become a spectacular stone lifter overnight. So those are our prep evidence, our set of prep evidence that's going to go into these predictions. So what are the predictions? Well, not surprisingly, Alexei Novikov wins the group by 2 points over Bobby Thompson, who then is overtaken by the 3rd place Kevin Ferris in a stone off. Bobby, as we said, not one of the best guys in the world with stones. And when you're not one of the best guys in the world with stones, our world's strongest man, you got to win your group. And I have him just barely missing that. So here's the breakdown of why. I think Kevin Ferris wins the frame or loading medley, with Novikov coming in second at with 4 points. And again, Big Loz and I were talking about this, and we both agree that could go either way. You could have Novikov win this event with Ferris second, or Ferris win it with Novikov second, but it's probably those 2 guys that come in first and second on this medley. 3 points to Bobby for coming in third, 2 to Luke Stoltman, and 1 to Gavin Bilton. Luke is, really good with loading, not as good with frames, so had to be careful there with how many points we gave him. And then moving on to the deadlift, Bobby's definitely going to win the deadlift in this particular group, especially if it's a 9-inch deadlift. I have Kevin Ferris second and Novikov third. Again, I could be off there. Novikov could be second. Ferris could be third. They could split the difference. It doesn't make a difference in the end points-wise. Novikov still will come in first place, even if by a point or half a point more. And Ferris will remain in third place. So fingers. I have Gav Bilton, the big, strong guy, winning that one, using his height and his prep with fingers. And then Novikov, who just is good at everything and is undeterred, will come in second there with 4 points, 3 for Kevin Ferris, 2 for Luke Stoltman, and 1 for Bobby Thompson. Luke is strong in a lot of events, but he seemed, I don't want to say unmotivated, like he seemed motivated during his prep. But in that recent video where he and Tom were kind of talking about where they thought everybody would finish, Tom was basically like, I'm going to win everything. And Luke just seemed like to have a lot of pause. I don't know if he's, not quite up to it this time around, or maybe he will be in the next coming days and just was having a bad day that day, but doesn't seem as fired up as some of the other guys, even his own brother, from that video at least. Overhead medley, I think Novikov takes that one. 5 points for him, 4 for Bobby Thompson, 3 for Luke Stoltman, who I actually originally had higher, but Loz told me Tom looks faster than Luke in these medleys. Luke is great at a max log, but not necessarily when the transitions call for this sort of thing. So 3 points to Luke. I'm not going to put him any lower than that. 2 to Kevin Ferris and 1 to Gav Bilton. And then in the pickaxe, I have Bobby Thompson winning the pickaxe hold. 4 for Alexei Novikov, who will come in second. 3 for Luke Stoltman. 2 for Kevin Ferris. And 1 for Gavin Bilton. So that's how the points all lay out. Alexei Novikov comes in first with 20 points. Bobby Thompson second with 18. Kevin Ferris third with 16. And then Kevin defeats Bobby in the stone-off to go through with Alexei Novikov to the World's Strongest Man 2021 finals, along with the winners from my previous videos, who are Jerry Pritchett, Adam Bishop, JF Caron, Luke Richardson, Evan Singleton, Tom Stoltman, Brian Shaw, and Maxime Boudreau. Take that to the bank. Let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree with anything I've said. And of course, until next time, as always, ciao, homie. So if you like this video and haven't done so yet, please consider subscribing using that button right there. And also stay tuned for some other videos that you might love blooping up right there. This one is the one that YouTube thinks that you will like the best, and this one is the one that I think you will like the best. As always, share this with everyone, and until next time, ciao, homie.